Faithful, you know how painful this season was. Outside of maybe the Jets, the Patriots, the Bears games, every single game, including our wins, came with a lot of frustration. It was a tough season after an incredible run in 2023. Well, in this video, we are talking about a massive bullet that the 49ers narrowly dodged and what the 49ers need to do right now to be back in the mix this season. This is not a rebuild. This is a retool. And that's amazing news for the Niners, who had a horrible 6-11 season. Hey, if you're looking for daily 49ers content, it really helps me out if you hit that subscribe button. But let's jump straight into it. The Niners dodged a major bullet a couple of days ago. The more I have thought about the Robert Saleh move, the more I realize how on a knife edge everything actually was. Saleh was reportedly putting together his staff in Jacksonville, right? And Liam Cohen pulls the wool over the eyes of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and out of nowhere, Saleh has canceled his flight and things are shifting really quickly. Well, we've seen the knock-on effects of this already, that once Saleh was official and in, all of a sudden, now you've got Brant Boyer, your special teams coordinator. He's in, and things moved really quickly. And the 49ers have dodged a massive bullet because the actual value that Robert Saleh has already and will bring to this organization again is massive. And it cannot be understated. I'm not trying to say this is the second coming. I'm not trying to say that Robert Saleh is the best coach in the National Football League. And I'm definitely not saying that Robert Saleh is going to be with the 49ers forever. But what I am saying is what we're getting in the 2025 season, which is honestly that's all I can think about right this second. In the 2025 season, the best possible thing was Saleh, and we're going to get deeper into it and what the 49ers need to do in just a moment. So stick around, don't go anywhere. But when you unravel what Saleh means for the 2025 success, you realize quickly how critical of a move this became. This weekend, we get the legit defensive coordinator and a legit special teams coordinator, and now we're moving into player assessment. We're moving into, Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, all of this stuff. We're going to get into Combine. Things are happening super fast, and having your guy, the guy that you wanted, the guy that you risked everything to get, the guy that you were willing to wait for, having him in the room, having him back in the organization means that the Niners have a huge advantage. Now, I'm going to get into that, okay? But I think just from a player development, from a player assessment standpoint, the 49ers really lucked out. Between Saleh and Lynch, who was already at the Senior Bowl today, getting eyes on the talent, the 49ers are in a great position with a defensive line heavy draft. So what do they need to do? That's the second question I wanted to answer. What do the 49ers need to do? Matt Maiocco had an excellent article. In fact, I'm linking it below in the show notes so you can read the whole thing. And I'm intentionally not going to read certain sections of it just to leave more meat on the bone for you when you go and click this awesome article. But as much as I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles, and I really, really can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles, catch what Maiocco said, because it's legitimately a great point. Don't run on this, okay? Just be willing to hear him out, because there's something the Niners need to learn from the Philadelphia Eagles, who are heading to another Super Bowl opportunity. The lines are areas where the 49ers must devote resources to improve heading into the 2025 season. And with 7 of their 10 scheduled draft picks coming in the first 4 rounds, the 49ers should have plenty of opportunities to add players to bolster both the offensive and defensive lines. The 49ers invested a 3rd-round pick last season to guard Dominic Purdy, who was a consensus NFL all-rookie selection. But the last time the 49ers got production from a draft of defensive linemen was in 2019 when Nick Bosa was chosen with the number 2 overall pick. The Eagles have taken different routes toward building their offensive-defensive lines. Let's see what he means. Philadelphia has not chosen an offensive lineman in the first round since 2019 when they chose Andre Dillard. He never became a regular starter for the Eagles, but they found quality starters elsewhere in the draft. Left guard Landon Dickerson was a second-round pick in 2021. Center Cam Jurgens was chosen in the second round in 2022. He stepped into a starting role this season when Jason Kelce retired. And the Eagles' seventh-round pick, Jordan Mailata, was in 2018 was huge. Mailata is entrenched at left. Okay, let's keep going. In 2023, Philadelphia selected defensive tackle Jalen Carter and edge rusher Nolan Smith in the first round. Jalen Carter, of course, was an absolute steal and an insane move. In 2022, the Eagles went with defensive tackle Jordan Davis in the first round. So what the picture you're painting, of course, is something that we've talked about. And what a lot of folks believe to be the case is that the 49ers, and any team for that matter, but especially the 49ers in our current situation, do not need to draft an offensive lineman in the first round unless there is a genuine hole that is an immediate fix in the first round. And even if that were the case, and I'm talking about a Trent Williams kind of hole, even if that were the case, I still can see the argument for not drafting that offensive lineman in the first round. The defensive line talent, these guys are just freaks on the field. Like, they're just monsters. They're absolute monsters. There's something valuable about going after these talents and how they can impact a game and how we just talked about Von Miller the other day. I was thinking about that Super Bowl run for the Denver Broncos when Von Miller is the sole reason that the Denver Broncos beat the New England Patriots and managed to make it to the Super Bowl. That was 100% because of Von Miller. What happened after that? Big payday. That's what happened after that. Now, you look at it, right? And it makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense why some of these guys are worth every little bit of draft capital you can give them, and why a lot of these other guys can be plug and play even in the third round, i.e. Dominic Puni, who was already mentioned. So Mayoko's main point, and I'm not going to make any of the other little details, so I'm going to encourage you to go check out his full article. It seems fair. But Mayoko's main point is that what the Eagles have done over the last several years, really over the last 5 years, is really hone in on defensive line talent in the early in the draft, first draft night, all that good stuff, and really aim toward offensive talent in the second and third rounds. And I think it makes sense, also offensive line talent specifically, okay? So to really kind of hone in on what do the 49ers need to do. What do they need to do? And I see you guys in the comments every single day. We need offensive line talent. We need offensive line talent. We need offensive line. You're right. We need both. We definitely need the defensive line talent and the offensive line talent. And this draft, we can get some of that. I just think that the highest value right now is for the 49ers to go out there and draft early a top defensive line talent, an Abdul Carter, a Nick Scorton, and like one of these types of guys that is an immediate impact, that is a rising tide lifts all boats scenario where you have Nick Bosa and company all benefiting from this other powerhouse dude. It just makes so much sense to me. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. I'm more than welcome to hear that. I was like, why do I have Christian McCaffrey on there? That was a whoopsie. Okay, so I did this poll today. Solid back and defensive line heavy draft plus some big names in free agency. Are you in or out on the wide nine? Here's what I wanted. Here's like the idea I wanted to know about. If given the opportunity to say, if the personnel is there, will you stick with the wide nine? How many Niners fans would say, I'm okay with the wide nine as long as the personnel matches up, which I think was the main issue these last two seasons especially, right? And 81% of 49ers fans said, at least the ones that I polled, right, all said, I'm down with the wide nine as long as the personnel matches it up. 19% of you said, I'm out, retire that scheme, I don't want to see it. So this was surprisingly, I thought this would be way more 50-50 than it was. Surprisingly high on one end. So I'm interested, let me know with some details out there in the comments section how you feel about this. Get in there and get in the vote, especially if you're on the outside and you want to make sure that your vote counts, because this is really fascinating to me, because my sense has been, and I have one comment I'm going to show in a second, but my sense has been that 49ers fans are like out on the wide 9. And surprisingly, it seems to me that the 49ers fans aren't out on the wide 9. We have Saleh back who can run it. We have personnel potentially who can run it. Then it's okay. That's basically where folks seem to be. Great comment from Newer Axe or New Eric's. I don't know. Maybe there's a shot. I don't understand the people who are pessimistic right now. Things are looking very bright in Ninerland, and I could not agree more. Thank you for the comment. Agree times 1,000. Yes, you still have, some potential challenges with your head coach, Kyle Shanahan, because every coach makes mistakes, and Kyle Shanahan's have been duly noted by Niners faithful. Like, I get it, okay? But you have an amazing play caller in Kyle Shanahan, okay? You have a great need at the defensive line, and we have a perfect draft to fix it. So I'm stoked about that. Then you go and get your top defensive coordinator option, probably, at least arguably, the best available defensive coordinator, for sure. In my mind, I'd say he is. Then on top of that, you get an actual special teams coordinator with actual talent, when the other prospects all seem to be Kyle Shanahan talking to his buddies or interviewing some dude in Denver. Chris Banjo is his name. Like, it was not looking good. I'm just being real with you. It was not looking good. And now we're on the other side of a week, and we're seeing that we actually got the defensive coordinator and we got a special teams coordinator with actual experience and like did a good job many of those seasons. I'm stoked about that. I'm absolutely fired up about that. And the situation could not be better for the Niners heading into the year. I've already told you this, so I'm not going to belabor the point, but the situation could not be better. The 49ers have an incredible schedule. The 49ers have guys coming back, and just by like odds, knock on wood, just the odds are that they're going to have a much better luck with injuries this season. Just odds, right? Then you add to that Christian McCaffrey's had basically an entire season of rest with just a little bit of playing time. And, he had the knee injury, which added to him not being able to play and stuff. But for his Achilles, that's probably better for him to have that time off. Like, I'm optimistic from so many different angles. We have some big guys that we're losing in free agency, probably in guys like Hufanga, who have that veteran level that they were able to hit in the past. That showed huge value. Probably gone. Dre Greenlaw, I still believe, I can't let go. I still believe he's going to be a Niner, but has his injury woes. Like, I'm not saying the situation is perfect, but I am saying it could not be better. Like, the 49ers have maintained an incredible roster, and they have every opportunity and all the offseason time they need to make it happen. So I'm wildly optimistic on the Niners bouncing back. Everybody else is too. Like, I'm not acting like I'm the only guy who's saying this. You've got guys like Pat McAfee who are just going on and on about how good the Niners are going to be in their bounce back season. So it's a good situation setting up for the Niners, but with everything put in there. And we could keep going, but I'm going to go ahead and shut up, and I'm going to move on. And I'm going to thank you for watching this video and being a part and hitting that subscribe button and liking the video. If you're still watching, please like the video. You apparently made it this far. Unless you absolutely hate me and you're just watching to troll me, I guess that could be possible too. But thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic evening.